A total obsession with power drives him to control the forces of the universe. He is the Mad Titan. He is Thanos. Welcome to Nercular Reaction Solo Episode number 2. I'm Zach. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well, actually fantastic. So I finally finished reading the annual number 1 of Thanos, and it comprises of different creative teams presenting different monstrous stories about the evil workings of Thanos. You'll find that in the creative teams, you'll see Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw, Antonio Fabella, Chris Hastings, Flaviano, Federico Blee, Carrion Gillen, Andre Arjuyo. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I apologize sincerely. Chris O'Halloran. I apologize for butchering that one as well. Katie Cook, Heather Breckel, Ryan North, Will Robson, and Rochelle Rosenberg. I'm sorry, there's also 2 more. Al Ewing and Fraser Irving. So each of these little stories is told by cosmic ghostwriter Frank Castle. And that's right, he makes an appearance again in this annual. But he never actually left, if you've read it. And like I said, this is the first time I'm reading this series by Donny Cates. I actually enjoy his writing. The first thing I ever read of Donny Cates is Baby Teeth. And wow, that's an incredible series. In fact, I heard that the next issue is going to be released in May. Took a long break between issue 16 and now. It might be 15, I can't remember. But it's been over a year since the release of the last issue of Baby Teeth. And if you can go and find, there's a hardback collection. If you can go back and find that, pick it up. It's really enjoyable. So anyway, yeah. So Frank Castle, he's telling the story through his eyes, or the stories that he's witnessed, I guess. Anyway, I really hope that you go and read Thanos, the complete edition, or just pick up the individual trades, or if you've got the comics, read those. Read them digitally. It doesn't matter. It's all about enjoying the art and the writing, the stories that are being told. That's what we read comics for, right? Escapism, and to see these fantastic, bombastic stories come to life on the pages. So at least that's why I read them. So anyway, this is going to be spoiler filled. So if you don't want any spoilers, I'm gonna tell you, go ahead and stop watching the video right now. But if you've already read it, come have fun with me and let's jump right into it. So just in the first story, it's called Titan's Greatest Dad. And this one's by Donny Cates. And you'll like this one. Thanos is teaching Gamora how to not have a heart. To never show mercy and always be strong. And how does he do this? By making her fight herself, whether it's a clone or somebody else that looks like her, in this manipulation type thing. In fact, you end up thinking that Gamora is facing this masked opponent, and she ends up dying. And then the opponent pulls off the mask, and then she's like, "Am I done? Am I done?" Whatnot. And you know, it's actually kind of messed up. And he does this over and over and over and over again. It's never enough. It's never done. It's never finished. And so he just continues to push Gamora, killing Gamora over and over and over and over again. And I mean, what a great father, right? You know, there's nothing like a dad who forces their daughter to slaughter a clone of herself to teach her to not have a heart, to teach her to have strength, not to show mercy and whatnot. The next one in the annual, the next story, imagine, it's called What to Get from the Man Who Takes Everything. Follows a story named David. But imagine for a moment that it's your first birthday and you don't know what's going on in one sense, but this purple giant monster just continues to appear on your birthday and wreck everything. Well, that happens to David. And on his fifth birthday, He's asking his mom while he's sitting on some steps on his back porch, asking his mom if he can no longer have birthdays. He doesn't want to have them anymore. He wants to do away with them because of this. And a car gets smashed on his 5th birthday. At the age of 16, Thanos shows up while David is laying in bed and texts David's girlfriend with David's phone, and causing the two to break up. And we're not sure exactly what Thanos says in the text, but his girlfriend responds with exploited deletions and hopes that he's dead. This is completely over. And, sends him into some more depression. At 21, David's having a birthday party, and Thanos poisons the punch and kills everybody. At 25, he gets accepted into grad school on his birthday, and Thanos burns the building down. Loses his job at 27, and his cat has been killed because of Thanos. At 30, there's a miss. Thanos doesn't show up for David's 30th birthday. And he's rejoicing. He's actually excited. Doesn't think Thanos is going to come back. Lo and behold, on the 31st birthday, Thanos apologizes that he didn't come and ruin his 30th birthday because he got banished fighting the Avengers and blah, 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 blah. And then causes David to be on an island where he's outside making hamburgers on his grill. Just causes the ground around him to just collapse into an abyss. And this just continues on and on, birthday after birthday after birthday after birthday, till finally David is just broken. And Thanos shows up on his 45th birthday, and David is just trying to plead with him. What is going, why are you doing this to me? Why me? What? Why? And it almost seems like the Thanos is kind of caring and whatnot, but he doesn't. He floods the apartment. End of story. Which leads into the next story called Exhibition. Actually, hold on. Let me back up for a moment. Because when Thanos goes back to Titan, he's asking Mephisto, what's going on? Why won't Death see all that I've done? I've done all this carnage. I've ruined people's lives. Blah, blah, blah. Why? And Mephisto puts something diabolical in Thanos' mind. Even though Thanos is diabolical all by himself, he doesn't need the devil to come around and do it for him. But anyway, this leads into Exhibition, and where Thanos annihilates an entire planet and the life that existed on it. And then and while the people scream for their lives, Thanos calls it art. He's like, it is art. Which leads into the next little story that you'll find in the annual called My Little Thanos. And this one's hilarious and dark. Very dark. There's these little creatures in there. They kind of look like bunnies, but they kind of don't and whatnot. Thanos shows up and he's like, I'm here to kill your god type thing. And they're like, our god is our heart, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, give me your heart. And so as one of these little creatures runs off to go grab the heart and whatnot, he's like, I'm going to kill you all. And then the little creature, bunny-looking creatures are like, oh, you want to kill us? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And they're all happy and whatnot. And it's kind of funny. They start killing each other and committing suicide, and they're doing it with glee, and you're just like, what the? I can't believe this is happening. What's wrong with these creatures? And Thanos is really disturbed by this, and he's like, I'm out of here. I can't deal with this crap. And he leaves. And the bunnies are like, oh, our new god is gone. And, well, that's okay. And as they notice all these other creatures of them are dead, we'll have a happy funeral. It'll be fun. So it's kind of a weird, messed up story. And that one's written by Katie Cook. And I'd never read anything by Katie Cook before. I really like that one. The artwork is kind of chibi-like. If you're familiar with the chibi animation manga type, it's kind of more among like small little baby type creatures and that kind of look. You can see that kind of artwork with Scotty Young if you're familiar with Scotty Young. So anyway, the next story is that time when Thanos helped an old lady cross the street. And this seems innocent enough, but what if preventing a meeting happened because Thanos helped a little woman or an old woman cross the street? And he does. He ends up preventing this important event from taking place. This girl who's on this bus, she's minding her own business, but the bus stops, and there was going to be a person that she was going to meet at a specific time, but she misses that opportunity. And that person was going to inspire her to cure cancers, diseases, end world hunger, and bring equality to the entire world. And this lady just grows old and dies and before her deathbed, or it's on her, well, it's not before her deathbed, but on her deathbed, she can't help but feel like a piece of her was missing. She was destined for something more, but she never found that fulfillment. What does Thanos do? He shows up. He shows right up on her deathbed and tells her exactly what she would have done and who she would have met, blah, blah, blah. And you see this pale body now just lying on a bed, eyes wide open and mouth open and dead. You know, I mean, Thanos is a bastard and a scumbag. And we all know that. We all know that. We read these stories and we already know destruction, death. Thanos is a badass. He's going to continue to wreck people's lives and ruin the world and ruin everything because that's what Thanos does. The last story, Thanos goes to a planet where there's humanoid creatures that are religious and they're close to their god. I can't pronounce, I think it's Haldun is how you pronounce the name of their god. Anyway, Thanos shows up and tells them he's killed their god and that they have no hope and there's no life beyond the grave, and the entire people are now sent into madness and mourning and discomfort, not knowing if there's going to be a heaven in their afterlife and whatnot. And Thanos is just kind of blah blah blah, that's the way it is. So that's the last Thanos story. Frank Castle is now near the steps. I guess he's not necessarily in Asgard. He's not in Valhalla, but Thanos is right, or not Thanos. Frank Castle's there, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Odin is right there next to him and welcomes him into Valhalla. That's how the annual ends. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful annual. Highly recommend it if you haven't read it already. Now, I have read an interesting story that came out a few weeks ago by Keanu Reeves, and it's called BRZRKR. BRZRKR, I've now read that comic 4 times. I read that 4 times over the weekend. Twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. And then, actually, I said 4 times. I've read it 5 because I read it again last night before I went to bed because it's that freaking good. I highly recommend this comic. It's full of action. It's very cinematic. The comic goes into this story of this guy who wants to become mortal. He wants to die. He wants the ability to die, I should say. He doesn't want to die. He wants the ability to die. And we get this story from his viewpoint that he has witnessed the Civil War. He has witnessed the Revolutionary War. He witnessed the Black Plague. He's witnessed atrocities throughout all humanity. I mean, throughout all humanity, we just see that, okay, this guy is really old. Really, 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 really old. We don't know exactly how old he is until you get to the end of the comic, and then it reveals how old he is. But this guy, BRZRKR, he's like a cross between John Wick and Neo. That you read in this comic and you see this guy punch holes right into someone's face. He's taken point blank gunshots right to the chest. No death. You see blood coming out. He stomps a guy right in the face. He punches a guy in the face, and as his fist is coming back, the eye of the guy he punched in the face is now falling off his knuckles. It's pretty gruesome. He ends up, I mean, this is spoiler. I'm telling spoilers right here. This is a spoiler episode. Anyway, so he has a grenade, and he's got it at this chest of this soldier, and just lets the grenade go off, and he comes out of it with, the skeleton of his hand, flesh is gone and whatnot. He's in a Humvee. Guy's in a Humvee and goes head first into an airplane that's almost trying to take off. Not quite right there. Blows the whole thing up and walks out. Flesh is all melted off his face, hair singed that you can see, and then he's back in the government facility afterwards, and he's having a conversation with this doctor, and they do the skin grafts on him and whatnot, and she's convinced that he's not immortal, and he's claiming to be immortal, and then she's telling him that there's a disturbance in his heart rate. They noticed something, and she was inquiring more about what that was about, and so you could see the thoughts that are kind of playing out in these flashbacks, which was kind of cool. It's really, really cool. And then he reveals why that happened, and it's because he remembered his birth, and he remembered he was born 80,000 years ago. And you see this barbaric type tribal people that are wearing cloth loins and skins and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing story. Highly recommended. It's thick. I think the comic was like $5. I think might have been $4. I can't remember. But it's definitely well worth the money. And if you could find an issue of it, I highly recommend that you go out and pick it up and read it. Get on the series. It's going to be a 12-issue limited series. Keanu Reeves is the main writer on it, and he's being helped by Matt Kent. And Matt Kent is doing a phenomenal job with helping him, or I don't know exactly how that's all played out with sharing the writing. I know that Keanu Reeves is his brainchild. He had a trailer talking about it and whatnot. It was really cool. Really, really cool. And if you're a fan of John Wick, if you're a fan of The Matrix, and you want to see a creation of the two merge together and kick brutal ass, this is the comic you need to be reading. It's freaking good. It is really freaking good. So, with that said, be sure to hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, click the notification bell. You all enjoy the rest of your day, whatever day it is, because you may not be watching this the day I release it. Farewell. See you next time.